So last week there was no stream.
Hmm.
Is that true?
Is that true? Are you asking me? You know what
The
happened. You
truth
know the
is
story.
that last week there was no stream. I don't know necessarily if you told everyone that
Yeah,
there
I
wasn't going to
wrote
be a
I wrote
stream.
on social media, and there's a like you can post text on YouTube. I
Hmm.
wrote on YouTube, but I didn't write the reason. It was just
I
saying.
was out west visiting my sister and for a week, and now I'm back. So we're back to live streaming. So welcome to the live stream. It's 6:30 p.m. EST. And as usual, we're going to begin with a book review, or
Hmm.
showcase, rather.
Hmm.
What do you have for us today?
I thought of maybe showing the edition of Metal Hurlant that I have a story in, and yeah, can you
Mm.
see?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a special edition about cats, which is very cool. I really like the cover
Hmm.
by Kiku.
Yeah, the cover is really, really
Hmm.
beautiful.
I also really like the logo, Metal Hurlant. I like it better than the American, uh, the heavy metal logo.
Hmm.
Even though it's also very good, the American logo. But this is better.
It looks retro.
It is.
Yeah.
It's from the 70s.
Hmm.
So this specific edition came out, I think 2022 in Enki Bilal. So they're doing, first of all, it's very thick. It's like a full full book,
Hi, Jamie. Yeah, we're both good. How have you been?
and they've done like a cool thing. They are mixing between new stuff, as you can see here. This is, for example, this what we're seeing now. It doesn't look like Metal Hurlant. It looks modern, but they are mixing it with the older stuff,
I just want to
which is
really quickly
nice.
address the bloody knuckles you have because they're very visible on
Oh,
screen.
sorry.
You
I'm
didn't punch.
sorry.
He didn't punch anyone.
I punched the
He
wall.
punched the climbing wall, the climbing gym wall,
I punched the
which
wall.
sometimes happens when you climb
Yeah, I
and
also
you're
have
in a
this. I have a black
finger.
finger.
You have a black finger and you have three bloody knuckles.
Yeah, I punched the wall. Yeah, it always looks like I don't
Construction
know,
worker.
or a thug or a
Thug, yeah.
uh,
Actually, I don't know. I think my hands look okay. Why do
this
you
is I really like this.
keep punching the climbing gym
This
wall?
is very Mobius, like
Mm-hmm.
the coloring and the colors and the line work. So
Yeah.
it's a cool idea. They do once in a while they do a special edition with a theme,
Mm-hmm.
and I really like the idea. So it's all in French, and I think they started, maybe Humanoid started reissuing the Metal Hurlant issues also in English, but not all of it. I'm not sure, but so this specific issue is only in French. So if you want to read it, you need a Google Translate if you're not reading, if you can't read French. So
I can't read
it's
French.
all stories about cats, which is cool. This is really cool. I really like this. And also it looks like a that's a very famous Art Nouveau poster. I like the coloring style. It looks, I think it's digital, but it looks,
Yeah, I like the colors.
yeah, nice. I really like the way he draws the wrinkles on the cats.
Yeah,
Yeah, the colors are also great.
an Egyptian hairless, I think they're called.
Yeah, they're very cool looking cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's the poster I was talking about before.
I recently discovered that, in complete contrast to what I believed, people who are allergic to cats, they're still allergic to Egyptian hairless
Yeah,
cats
yeah,
as
I
well.
saw that.
I didn't know that. I think.
Because it's something about the skin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's yeah. It's something about yeah, related to the skin, but also the hair. So
Yeah.
it's probably less intense. And
Mm-hmm.
here's my story here,
Yeah.
which is based on our own cat because and
R.I.P. Peter.
yeah,
We miss you.
yeah, and it's a bit sad, but yeah, that's the double page spread with the city here, and there's a futuristic looking city here. I think that like the quality of the print is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. Here's another cat. So it's all from the point of view of the cat here. So you don't see the cat itself in the story. You only see a cat uh, when it's like something specific happens in the story itself. And you can see some cats here at the ending. Yeah, that's Mobius. Mobius. Yeah, it's also really nice. The style is very clean. Like the cartooning style is very like it's very to the point.
Yeah.
There's nothing else aside from what you need to understand the story.
What is it? Does the close-up phone cam not work? Or
No, because it was the phone, but I can do
right, okay.
this.
Because I tried using it momentarily and it showed that it wouldn't work.
No, because I started doing the music thing,
Mm,
and I'm using the other camera for the hand tracking thing.
right. So for those of you who don't know, usually on the silent stream there would just be no sound, the ones that you do throughout the day without me.
This is very cool. Look at this.
And recently you've added a sort of visually cued sound that reacts to your hand gestures as you draw.
Yeah, I did.
And so that happens on the daytime, what
Cool.
used to be silent streams are now.
This cat is so like it's like so good looking,
It's
right?
so, yeah, it's a handsome cat.
Handsome cat.
Yeah.
Looks like Peter.
Yeah,
A
it
little
does
bit.
actually.
He was a handsome cat.
He was a handsome cat, and I really miss Peter.
Yeah.
Jamie asks what the issue number for this Metal Hurlant is. It
I
should
don't know
say on the back or
I
on the
don't know
front.
the number. It's
I'll just check online and let you know.
I think it's from 2024. That's what I remember because I saw when we went to San Diego, I think it was 2024 last time. I saw this specific issue for the first time there, so I think it was probably 2024. Oh, that's really cool. Look at this.
Yeah.
The colors, yeah, very cool.
Is it possible that it's issue number 5?
Yeah, it's possible because they started reissuing them not a long time ago.
Did Momoko do the cover?
No, it's
No.
Kiku.
Oh,
There's another. I think the issue with Peach Momoko's cover is the one before that. I think it's the cat's special issue.
Yeah.
You can find it on their website. I think I saw it there.
Okay. Okay. I'll let you know in a
I
moment.
think it's probably 5 or 6. I think. I don't know if they. I don't see it here. So
It's humanoids, right? So
yeah.
Metal Hurlant. Learn more. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it inside
Wait,
the
what?
issue itself.
This is. Oh, I don't know what that is.
What?
No, I saw a cat, but I don't think that's
No, it's not that one.
that one.
You should find
Are you
look
sure
for
it's been released?
yeah, it's from 2024, but you're in the you need to yeah, it's the humanoids. So humanoids have a like a US base, and
Oh.
they also have a like a French, which is the French version is Le Humanoid Associé.
Oh,
So you
okay.
need to find the it's a different website.
So,
Oh, by the way, I think
Les
this
humanoïdes associés. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Still can't find it. I don't.
This reminds me a little bit of Sam Keith stuff. Just a little bit. Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah, and this is a little bit of R. Crumb.
Yeah.
You didn't find it?
No, I'm having
Just
some.
maybe just
Oh,
type.
Jamie says I have found it. Okay, Jamie, let us know what the issue number is and why it's been so difficult for me to track it down.
If you just write the oh, look at this. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Very Japanese. So actually, the story they wanted me to do something with them.
Yeah.
So I had an option of doing uh, a story for the previous issues to this one, the one before that. But it was about a cat, so I had an idea about a cat, and then they told me that they are gonna do a special about cats. So it was better.
Okay, so it says Metal Hurlant HS2. HS2. I guess maybe that's the issue number.
It's the special cat edition.
Yeah, it's just
That
called Special Cats
yeah.
Edition, and the one that we showed you today was in French, just for your
Yeah,
information.
there is no English version, so you won't
But
be
I
able
think
to
it's
find
still
that.
worth picking one up because of the art inside.
Yeah,
It's
of
really
course.
good. Even if
Yeah.
you, even if you end up like using translator to figure out if you want to read something, but if not, you can just look at the art and it's very special.
Yes, and they might be doing them reissuing them in English
At some point,
at
yeah.
some point. But if they're gonna do that, I'm not sure it's gonna be the same edited in the same way. It's gonna be maybe they'll take some of the stories and like mix them together. I'm not sure. So for today,
Yeah.
I'm doing a commission. I'm doing a commission. What? Did you find it?
I think this is the name. I'm just gonna copy paste it into the chat so that if anyone else wants to see it visually, it's there.
Yeah, but it's worth checking out any other issue of Metal Hurlant. They always have interesting stuff there. So it doesn't really matter which issue you pick up from them.
Oh, this is driving me nuts.
What?
No, nothing. It's okay. Just a technical issue.
Oh,
The chat.
okay.
Yeah, that should be okay. All right.
Okay.
So what are we inking today?
So I kept this for the. I wanted to do this in the stream. It's a commission of Cerebus.
Yeah.
It's a character by Dave Sim.
Yeah.
It's also from like the same sort of the same time of Metal Hurlant, and also the same vibe of Metal Hurlant. It's a indie, pretty famous, I guess, indie comics by Dave Sim. I think it started in the 70s, I think. Cerebus. And it's about a I can't remember the name of this animal. Do you remember? Don't remember.
Of the animal that you're drawing now? The mask?
Yeah.
I want to say it looks like
Maybe
maybe
show Cerebus on the screen.
Cerebus.
Yeah.
What? Maybe
Pangolin?
maybe a groundhog or
No,
something?
it's a thing, pangolin, something.
There is such a thing as a pangolin. This is a
No,
pangolin.
it's not a pangolin.
No.
It looks like a pangolin, but without the scales. Just maybe open the Wikipedia about
Oh, I
Cerebus and
see.
you'll
Yeah.
find.
So where did the character come from?
It's a comic character from an indie comic from the 70s by Dave Sim.
Aardvark.
Yeah.
Could it be?
Yeah.
I'm not sure still. It's just because
Cerebus.
the publisher is called Aardvark Vanaheim. So I was thinking
It's called Cerebus.
Yeah, I know that. I found the wiki page and it says that the publisher is Aardvark Vanaheim. So I was thinking maybe it's an aardvark because of that, but it doesn't really say, not that I can tell. Huh.
Yeah, maybe type the name of the character itself.
I think ChatGPT could help in this instant.
But maybe show it on the screen and people can see that the idea that I had with it. So I'm not, as usual, people are, sometimes I actually learn that people don't really like it, but
It is an aardvark. I was right.
Okay.
It was just an educated guess. I will bring it up. Because on the Wikipedia page it said that the publisher was named Aardvark Anaheim. So I thought, it's probably, it could be an aardvark, right? So
yeah,
the character that we are talking about is, here, I'll just pop that on here as well.
So Cerebus is not the name of the character, it's the name of the comic.
Right. So do we know what the name of the character is?
Maybe it is the name of the character? I'm confused.
We're a bit confused today, folks. Bear with us.
but I didn't make any mistake with the commission itself. So that's it.
Of course. So what is the multi-headed dog called from mythology?
Yeah, it's Cerebus. It's the
Is it the
same.
same name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was throwing me off. That's why I was confused, actually. Because when you Google Cerebus, you also get the image of the mythological three-headed dog,
Yeah.
but you also get the comic book character in question as well.
Hmm. That's really cool that he made a comic book character that is as famous as the mythological creature.
Look at this. This is the first issue,
Mm-hmm.
number
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So my idea was, because I'm always looking for something different and interesting to do with the commissions.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about, so it's a, I think the story itself is a fantasy, dark fantasy theme, something like that. And I read a little bit about the character, and it said that he became a conqueror or something like that. So I thought about Alexander the Great, and I found an interesting um, classical art to be inspired by or to reference to, which is this one
Mm-hmm.
here by Jean-Simon Barthélemy from the 18th century.
Yeah, Jean-Simon Barthélemy was a French history painter who was commissioned to paint an allegorical ceilings for the Palais du Louvre, the Luxembourg Palace, and others, in a conservative, late Baroque Rococo manner only somewhat affected by neoclassicism. That was a
So
mouthful.
yeah, and also it's funny because we talked a little bit about Greek mythology today.
Not mythology, but I
Oh, about the
recently,
helmet.
yeah, I
Yeah.
recently finished, well, semi-finished, a Gundam head skull, or just putting it together and painting it, which I could show as well. Maybe someone's interested in it. And we commented on how it sort of looks like, from the side, it sort of looks like, um, am I? Yeah. From the side, it sort of looks like Greek, the way that they had the feathers coming off of their helmets in battle, right? The soldiers.
Yeah.
So the top of it sort of is giving that. It almost completely got destroyed, but it's okay.
Almost completely.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, so the specific painting that I reference is showing the Gordian knot mythos,
yeah.
which is, you know it?
Um, my only knowledge of the Gordian knot is that it was some sort of really complex knot that it was so complex that they had a myth around it, a lore that whoever managed to untie it would rule something, would be the ruler of something. I don't remember of what. But I can read it. It's on here somewhere. So the cutting of the Gordian knot is an ancient Greek legend associated with Alexander the Great in Gordium in Phrygia, regarding a complex knot that tied an ox cart. Reputedly, whoever could untie it would be destined to rule all of Asia. Oh, okay, all of Asia, that's a lot. That's a lot to rule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't want to rule all of Asia, would you?
No,
No.
sounds like too much
Yeah,
work.
it's too much. Even though you could probably delegate quite a bit. Alexander was challenged to untie the knot in 333 BC. Instead of untangling it laboriously, as everyone had expected, he dramatically cut through it with his sword, which is why wouldn't anyone do that though?
Yeah, because
Wouldn't that be the first?
yeah, because when you get the rules of something, you you most of the time you want to like think outside of the rules. That's the whole point of the mythos, that he was able to think like get out of the box or something like that.
Happy Monday to you too, Rob. Nice to see you here.
Yeah, Rob sent me some photos from New York recently, which looks very cool and interesting. A lot of Paul Pope art and Tradmore, and who else? But so the myth is it's a cool story, and I think if anybody remembers the scene in Riders of the Lost Ark,
Mm-hmm.
do you you know what I'm talking about?
Enlighten me.
Where Indiana Jones is about to fight this massive, huge, with like very intimidating guy who had, I think, two swords, and he was trying to do like something. He started to do something very dangerous looking with the swords, and
Mm-hmm.
then Indiana Jones just
Shot him.
shot him.
Yeah, that's a very famous trope,
Trope, yeah.
actually,
So
of like
that's the actual origin of the trope.
yeah. Okay, that was the first time on film. So
No,
it.
I meant
Oh, the story.
Gordian knot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah. It since became a very humoristic type of quick solution to something that seems boisterous
yeah, but
and
yeah,
seems intimidating on the surface. Like a ninja shows up and does like somersaults and backflips and all kinds of
hmm,
shows off, and then you just shoot the ninja.
yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I think the idea of the myth, if you can continue reading about it, it's
Sure.
related to that. So yeah,
This is used as a metaphor for inventing an unexpected method to solve a seemingly intractable problem.
yeah,
Okay. The Phrygians had no king, but an oracle at Telmissus, the ancient capital of Lycia, decreed that the next man to enter the city driving an ox cart should become king. A peasant farmer named Gordius drove into town on an ox cart and was immediately declared king. Out of gratitude, his son Midas, identified with Zeus, is that what it or sorry, his son Midas dedicated the ox cart to the Phrygian god Sabazios, who the Greeks identified with Zeus, and tied it to a post with an intricate knot of cornel bark. The knot was later described by Roman historian Quintus Curtius Rufus as comprising several knots all so tightly entangled that it was impossible to see how they were fastened. The ox cart still stood in the palace of former kings of Phrygia at Gordium in the 4th century BC when Alexander the Great arrived, at which point Phrygia had been reduced to a satrapy or province of the Persian Empire. An oracle had declared that any man who could unravel its elaborate knots was destined to rule over all of Asia. Alexander the Great wanted to untie the knot, but struggled to do so before reasoning that it would make no difference how the knot was loosed. Sources from antiquity disagree on his solution. In one version of the story, he drew a sword and sliced it in half with a single stroke. However, Plutarch and Arrian relate that, according to Aristobulus, Alexander pulled the linchpin from the pole to which the yoke was fastened, exposing the two ends of the cord and allowing him to untie the knot without having to cut through it. Some classical scholars regard this as a more
oh,
plausible.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they regard it as more plausible than the popular account.
If it really
If
happened,
it
yeah,
really
it's probably
happened.
just a myth.
I mean, Alexander the Great was definitely an actual real person. this is not
I
an
don't know if
invented.
definitely, but
I think so
yeah,
because aren't there
yeah, there are records.
historical
Yeah,
records?
yeah,
It's not like Gilgamesh or something
yeah,
where
yeah.
you have no idea if that was an actual real person
Mm-hmm.
or even, I'm gonna say something that might sound blasphemous to some people, but like you don't know if Moses or was an actual real person.
Yeah, of course, no.
There's no way of it could be just a character in order to.
Yeah, but a lot of the time with real leaders, they invented stories about them to make
Right,
them make them seem more heroic or like stronger than they're actually
that as
were.
well. And it could be just fiction. It could be a myth. It could be just sort of like fairy tale, sort of, kinda.
Yeah,
You know, you, I don't
it
think
it
that.
also could be like a fairy tale that is older than
Right, and
Alexander
they
the
gave it a
Great, and it
different
gave it
name.
a different yeah.
So that
That
would be
that
like
that what happened with
with
the myth of the
the
flood.
flood. Yeah. So the oldest one I think they found was the Sumerian Gilgamesh texts,
Yeah,
and then that sort of evolved and um, donned a new garb in, was it Noah's Ark?
I think there's an earlier Canaanite one as well,
Yeah.
and there's other cultures that have the same saying about the flood, which probably maybe it was an actual event that actually happened, but it was distorted through the years with the storytelling.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my idea, and it's all about Cerebus.
hmm
I don't know if any of you read
Oh, sorry. So
Cerebus.
wait a
Yeah.
minute.
What?
In Mesopotamia, um, I think the actual the Noah equivalent of that, the character's name is Utnapishtim.
Okay, it's not in Gilgamesh stories,
I think it is in the Gilgamesh stories, but I
but it's
think,
not Gilgamesh itself.
yeah, Utnapishtim is a legendary figure for Mesopotamian mythology and a central character in the Epic of Gilgamesh. He is portrayed as the immortal survivor of a divine flood sent to destroy humanity. So, yeah, I think I guess Gilgamesh is also in there, but he's not the Noah of the stories. And then there's also a character called Atrahasis or Atrasis in an even earlier Akkadian myth. And yeah, and there's also a Greek equivalent,
Yeah.
Deucalion or Deucalion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce that word. The Indian myths have Manu. He
Yeah.
was warned by a fish, which was an avatar of Vishnu, and then he built a boat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically the same, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
I'm guessing these stories somehow traveled through trade routes
Yeah, that's possible.
or.
Yeah, the world was very connected in
hmm
the Bronze Age, more than people think usually, but
Yeah,
there,
because they keep on discovering more and more connections, right?
yeah.
So I think as time goes by, we realize that there was more trade and intercultural relationships happening than was previously assumed.
And they can actually see when there was a when when there was a collapse of the ancient world,
hmm
the collapse of the Bronze Age, it's completely stopped the
Yeah.
connection between the cultures.
And do we 100% understand why that collapse happened?
It's a very complicated chain of events that includes many, many reasons altogether, which is the answer for any collapse in history.
I seem to recall one of them being a meteorite impact or something.
One of them was a change of a climate change, sort of a climate change.
Like a mini ice age or something?
I think it was drought, as I think I remember it was drought. But another thing is the men from the sea, the seaman.
Yeah.
That I think they started using iron, which was the beginning of the Iron Age, and they invaded. They probably had to flee from their regions, and people think they came from the area of Greece and Italy, somewhere there, and they had to like move from like immigrate from their own region because of, again, same reasons, probably droughts or like lack of resources. So they had to invade other places like Egypt and the Levant area.
Yeah.
And they had, because they had iron, they had a like technological advantage over the local armies. But it's not even the main reason. There are many, many reasons for the collapse. I actually just recently read a book about basically about collapses of cultures, not just the Bronze Age, like era. All different. I don't remember the name of the book. It was a while ago, not long time ago, but more than a few months ago.
So there are hypotheses that posit a meteorite had something to do with it. It's not completely accepted,
Yeah.
but the evidence is that layers of burned material was found across multiple sites that are connected to that
but I
time
think it
period.
because of a lot of invaders and war, because at this specific period when they invaded a city, they used to burn everything
Yeah.
to the ground.
They say, so the chat says that even if it did happen, it would be one of the contributing factors and it wouldn't
Yeah,
be the
not the
cause.
main cause.
Yeah. But
There's
that would actually
a lot
be,
of factors
yeah.
to the Bronze Age collapse. It's
Rob says, are you guys familiar with the Fall of Civilizations podcast? Excellently produced YouTube videos. He covers everything you are talking about. I've never heard of it. Fall of Civilizations
no, I've
podcast.
never heard of
Who
it.
is it
But
by, Rob?
I've never heard about this specific podcast, but I read a book. Do you remember? I don't actually read.
You listen to
I
them?
listen to the book because I do it when I draw. So it was the guy who read it. He had like a funny way of saying collapse. You remember?
Right, he said claps.
Claps.
He just said, I'm not even sure it was a real person.
Yeah, it might be
It
AI.
might have been AI.
Yeah. So what was the name of that book? About
probably claps. I'm thinking I can just.
So he had like his whole point
Oh,
was that
wasn't
we
it the
are
book about how to invent a civilization from scratch?
no,
No.
that's a funny book by
Right.
the Canadian comic book writer. What's his name? They my brain stopped working.
Paul Cooper, try episode 1. Watch them to fall asleep. I watch them to fall asleep.
Oh, that sounds that sounds boring.
Watching them to fall asleep. Yeah, I don't know if that would help me fall asleep
Yeah,
watching
unless
them.
it's boring. If it's a
Uh,
boring podcast, yeah.
do you think that boredom
Makes
actually
you
makes
tired?
people
Yeah.
tired?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course.
Hmm.
That's the reason they say count sheep or do something very
That's kind of
not
offensive to
interesting.
sheep.
A little bit.
It is. I usually at some point open up a can of pop or soda, and but sometimes it is a different beverage, and today it's going to be mango sago smoothie. Um, I'm not. This isn't sponsored or anything, but this is just the type that I get. They're very good. There might be some slurpy sounds at the end. I'll try to minimize those.
So what was the name? Can you try to find the book that I was reading about the collapse? It was a good book. I really liked it. So his whole idea
Yeah.
behind it was pretty much saying that we are living during a collapse period of this specific age. But it sounds dramatic, but it's actually the way he yeah, I think it's hmm.
Do you remember maybe the name of the book?
No.
Huh.
Mm,
Fall of Civilization, Stories of Greatness and Decline, or no? Oh,
no.
actually, if you did you
I had it on Hoopla, I think.
yeah, so we can search on that.
Either Hoopla or Libby.
Hoopla.
It's the by the way, if anybody if you don't know this this app, it's a cool app that lets you borrow books from the library.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works in North America and Europe.
Yeah.
Not sure about Europe. I think so, but so it lets you if you have a library card, you can actually um, order books and it's audiobooks or PDFs like text but digital,
Yeah.
and it lets you do it for free because it's like borrowing from the library, which is cool. So you can listen to
Um,
yeah, Goliath
Goliath's Curse
Curse.
by Luke
Luke
Kemp
Kemp. Yeah.
is the one that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just a public service announcement, real quick. If you're gonna listen to the book or read it, the word collapse, I think, is in there like a million times.
Yeah. Yeah,
Every sentence
it's the
has the
idea
word.
of the book is that we're living in a societal collapse right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is that the way he describes it, he's actually saying that it's not supposed to be scary or anything. He goes through historical events and explains that collapses are actually better for the like regular normal person, like the maybe move this to the other side, the like the not the rich but the how do you say, like the common person,
Yeah.
the person that doesn't have a lot of money specifically.
Middle class?
Yeah, middle class, exactly. So it's actually better to live after right after the collapse of an era if you're in middle class. It actually improves the lives of people, and he
Interesting.
shows it in like with examples from history. And when he talks about collapse of an era, it takes years. It's not in the lifetime of a specific person. So it takes like maybe 100 years more,
I guess it
200,
depends on what the
5.
reason is.
In most societal collapses, it's
Hmm.
not something that is sudden. It takes a lot of time, maybe 500 years more or less. So you wouldn't notice it if
Hmm.
you lived through it. You wouldn't know that you're in a societal collapse. That's why he's saying that we are now.
Do you remember
And
what the hallmarks of a society collapsing are according to him? Because I guess he
um,
has reasons for thinking that we're in one right now, right?
yeah, there was a lot. I don't. I read it a while ago, so I don't really remember like the reasons and the specific explanation for our society right now.
Hmm.
But I guess it's about like it's mostly he talked a lot about inequalities of uh, like a big gap between rich and poor, and control of leaders that get more resources than others. It's mostly about inequalities, actually,
Yeah.
and where when like in each specific example that he gives, all the all the societies that were very like the equality issues were the biggest, the inequality issues were the biggest, they actually had a collapse, societal collapse right after.
Hmm.
So he's saying we're basically living it right now. But I wasn't prepared to summarize the specific book, so
Hmm.
that's what I remember. I remember like the the interesting thing is not that we are living during a societal collapse, because a lot of people say that.
Mm.
It was the other thing that it's not bad, that it's not actually bad or dangerous or something that you would see in movies that depict like post-apocalyptic disasters.
Hmm.
That it's not like that, and it wasn't like that at any point in history. He's saying actually that people are get getting more equality. The equality is higher after a societal collapse,
Why?
because probably people get back to more simple way of living, which was more equal than complex societies that are based on ruler and peasants and
So you're saying it makes
stuff like that.
people more aware, more acutely aware of just the basic necessities of life, and that sort of collapses the boundaries
It makes
between.
everybody like accountable for everything.
Hmm.
So there's no like uh, high class of people that are more important than other kinds of people.
Yeah.
That's was that's all his point of view. I don't know if it's actually true, or I don't know if true is the right way to think about this, but this is what he says. I don't have a view of it because I don't think I have enough knowledge about this specific issue. But it's interesting, this this specific book. So he calls it Goliath, the Goliath curse, because he said it's about the societies that get too too big and complex and unequal. What's happening in the chat?
I'm just writing the ISBN number for the Metal Hurlant Cats edition, and in case anyone wants to search via ISBN.
Yeah, it's hard to get it online because it's in French, and if you're not like doing the search from Europe, or like if you don't write it in French, then it's gonna be hard to
I can
find
also
it.
post,
But
I found a page that looks like you can just buy it from that page. I don't know if they ship overseas, but
yeah, I'm sure
I
it's
can post.
possible.
And if you want to search for a
Probably
cheaper,
probably eBay
yeah,
or
probably eBay as well. I'll just paste the first one that I found. It's not that we work with them or anything. It's called humano.com. I don't know what that is, but it seems like you're able to purchase through here, and I'm sure you could purchase it elsewhere as well.
and I'm sure you can buy it through the publisher itself, Humanoids, right?
Should be able to.
Probably if you're in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you're in Europe, you probably would be able to order. I think this specific issue I ordered
Oh,
myself. Yeah.
did they not send one out to you?
I don't remember. I might had another one, but maybe I forgot to bring it here. I don't remember. This is the time.
This is
This
Slurpee
is
times. This is Slurpee times, okay?
Slurpee
Everyone
time.
just has to
Deal with it.
deal with it for 10 seconds.
We talked a lot about mythology today.
Mm-hmm. I think we usually do. Mm-hmm.
Slurpee time is over. Oh, was it always on the zoomed thing?
There is no zoom cam.
No, I zoomed like manually.
Yeah,
It's zoomed in,
this is the way, yeah.
but is it is it possible to see what I'm doing?
Yeah, of course.
Should I zoom out?
No, I think it's good.
As Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it looks good. It's just that the screen is a bit dark because of the light table.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, so I got to this Molotov black.
I wonder what the other themes of their...
Oh, we forgot to talk about the workshop.
Ooh, well, good time to bring it up.
Yeah, why?
Because it's not like we still have a half an hour on this live stream, so
Okay,
there's time.
Yeah.
Okay, so there will be, it hasn't been officially announced yet.
No,
It
it is now.
it will be now momentarily, and also there will be it'll be on Instagram if I'm not mistaken, and possibly even on your site. I don't know.
It's on my website already, so if you go on my website to workshop,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in the menu, the upper, like
Yeah,
the headline
I'm
menu.
gonna so the site is your first name and surname near Levie.com. It's NIRLEVIE.com. On the right hand side on the top bar, you'll now see workshop, and that's what we're going to be sort of formally putting out there right now. There will be a first inking workshop held.
Yeah.
There are obviously a limited number of spots. It will be an online workshop. The title of the workshop is Intro to Comic Inking and Visual Storytelling. And you can sign up now through the website.
And I'm also gonna post about it on Instagram, but I just gotta say that it's actually your idea,
Yeah,
like
it is your idea,
your
your
guys,
guys's and your folks'
guys.
idea. Yeah.
So
Hi,
because
potato lover.
a lot of you asked for it specifically. I think it was actually specifically about inking, so that's the
Mm-hmm.
reason I chose to talk about inking for the first workshop.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I'm only gonna do it if we have more than 5 people, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise it's a bit too low attendance for a workshop like that. But the maximum amount of people wouldn't be like it's like a supposed to be for a small amount of people,
I
but
just noticed
more
that
than five.
I just noticed that we don't there is no um statement of the date that the workshop is going to be held on.
Yeah, so it's May 13. I'm gonna change that if it doesn't show
Yeah, it doesn't show.
here. So, but if you go on the if you go click the general admission,
Yeah, it'll say so.
it'll say the
Okay.
date,
Yeah.
and so it's May 13.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna post about it online. I just wanted to tell you guys before we like post it and bring the information to more people.
And just a heads up, it is going to be 2 hours long, even though it hasn't been changed yet. And on the ticket page, it says 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah,
It will be 2 hours long. So that would be 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And we'll change that right after our live stream today.
yeah,
Yeah, so there are two sort of different types of tickets that you can buy. The first one is general admission. It will obviously be live. You'll be,
I'll be talking about inking specifically,
yeah,
and I think it works for people who want to do illustration as well. It doesn't ha it's not like specifically for comics,
hmm
but obviously I do comics, so for me it's like the base is comics. But if you do illustration, it sure for sure could help you as well. I'm gonna talk about inking
yeah.
and
I'll
the
just read the list. The list of the things that you'll go
yeah,
over during the 2 hours will be full live inking demo step by step, line weight explanation, creating depth and hierarchy with lines, using black areas to control focus, common mistakes that make inks feel flat, and tools and materials, an overview of traditional and digital tools.
yeah. So a lot of you are asking questions about tools.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna explain at the workshop why tools are it they sound important, more important than they actually are
Right.
for people who are starting. But we will talk about tools a little bit, the tools that I'm using and I'm familiar with the best, but I have knowledge of a lot of different tools because I've tried basically every one of them. And yeah, it should be interesting because you could participate as well. So it won't be like this when it's only us, me, and Dex who are speaking. You could ask questions and interact. And also, if you buy the second tier, of the ticket. I'll do a sort of a critique about your work, and you could send it to me before the workshop, and I go over it just for me to like have a chance to look at it before the workshop itself.
And then
And
you
then
would
we
you would get
a critique
a critique
and
and also some sort of advice on how to up
improve.
your inking game,
Yeah.
as it were.
Yeah, but we're gonna talk only about inking. I'm not gonna I might talk a little bit about other stuff like composition and stuff like that, but we'll not get like deep into it. Like it's basically more about specifically about inking because that's what you asked for. That's
Yeah,
what you wanted. But if it works, if it goes well,
yeah,
we'll do another one for sure.
yeah.
And depends on what you're interested in. Maybe we'll do about sketching, about composition. There's a lot of options.
And if there are a lot of requests to join, I might be joining as a moderator.
Yeah,
So that depends on the amount of people who sign up for the first one, but we'll see. Just make sure to let anyone you know that might be interested send them the link and tell them about it so that we have at least 5 people signing up. Once
yeah,
we have it a minimum of 5, we'll go through with it. It'll happen for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's our goal at the moment. May 13th, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
I think it's a date and time that's probably best for our viewers, right? Because
Yeah,
I think it fits Europe also.
yeah,
Maybe it's just a bit
later.
late, but
Yeah.
it's gonna work.
hmm It's going to be on a Wednesday, just to let everyone
Yeah, and the regular stream is gonna happen
that week.
that week. Yeah.
Yeah, that week, Monday is going to be as per usual, and then Wednesday is going to be the 2 hour workshop. So make sure to sign up. I know that, I mean, the request for the workshop did come from the viewers of our live streams.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Jamie was interested, and there was at least one other person that was interested, or 2 other people.
Yeah.
So that's why we are offering this,
Mm-hmm.
and it will definitely be illuminating. So make sure to grab your spot.
Illuminating.
Illuminating, yeah.
Okay. I'm almost finished. It's almost never happens, right?
Yeah.
Where I finish.
Why do you think today you've been faster, or has it
I'm not
been?
faster. I think it's a smaller commission because it's A4
Oh, yeah, that
and
makes
it's
sense.
a single character A4.
hmm
Just because it's a single character, no background.
Oh, wow. Jamie says he found the Metal Hurlant book on Amazon for £6.
Okay.
Okay, Jamie, you can follow the link to Nir's website. It's the last thing that I posted on the chat. And then on the top bar at the right, there it says workshop. You can click on that and sign up. There's no problem. Just make sure you select the tier that you want. If you'd like your illustrations critiqued and some advice from Nir about how to up the level of your line work, or composition generally. You'll get that for the higher tier. And then if you just want to join without sending any material in and still be a part of the workshop interactively, you can do that too.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm doing so the workshop is gonna be, if you want, you could join and do the inking together with me, but it's only gonna be a part of the workshop because I'm gonna do some demonstrations of tools and stuff at the beginning probably.
Yeah.
And then we'll do like a simple inking of something even simpler than this because this took an hour and a half.
Right.
So it will be probably something smaller, or
Yeah.
maybe something like this, but we won't finish it together.
Right.
But so you can follow along if you want, but you don't have to. You can just
Watch.
come and watch and listen, and that's it.
And there will be time for questions and answers as well.
Yeah, for sure.
All throughout, no
Yeah.
problem, and also a specific time set aside for that near the end of the workshop.
And for the critique.
And for the critiques, that'll be set aside. And also,
anybody wants that.
even if your work, if you want your work specifically critiqued, which is amazing, you can do that. And even if your work isn't in there, you'll still learn a lot about how to make things look more professional by listening to Nir's critiques of whoever does send the work in. It doesn't have to be yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always interesting to listen to critique of other people, because yeah, you can probably learn something new about your own stuff from that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you think we can do my curse technique?
What do you mean? Oh, if we have enough time?
Do we have enough time?
It's only been an hour and 7 minutes, which gives us 23 minutes.
So we'll do that.
I think we'll at least be able to start your curse technique.
No, yeah, I'm gonna finish.
You're gonna finish? Okay,
yeah,
amazing.
It's not.
It'll probably be the first time ever where you started inking a piece and you finished everything, including blacked out areas in white ink.
Yeah, you think so?
I think on the live stream, yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Or at least that I recall.
I had like smaller commissions that were A4 before, and I usually prefer doing the commission on the like interactive stream and not in the silent one. Just because you see it's faster, it takes less time than doing a complete page. And I can start and finish it during the stream, which is cool because people can see the entire process. And I think I also streamed the sketch phase of this piece.
You can turn the overhead light on. Yeah.
So okay, so I finished the line work. I might add some details. I think I'll add some maybe details in the armor here, just to make it a bit, just to add the midtones, because it only has blacks and whites now. But first we're gonna do the technique. The curve, I'm calling it the curse technique because of Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's like you're about to pull out a domain expansion on it.
I'm going on. Yeah, doing a white domain expansion instead.
Yeah. Okay.
So should I explain the technique again?
Yeah, you could.
Okay. So as you can see, if I wanna do the whites over the blacks here, I can't see
your original sketch. You can't see your sketch.
In the original sketch, there you see whites over the blacks, but through the light box you can see them because
it's blacked out.
The black is blocking the light.
So the first way to go about this would be to draw the black around the white lines, but that would
Yeah.
be painstaking and it would end in
Yeah,
a
doing
very
doing the black
right.
around the white, it's gonna take forever.
It takes
It's
forever.
gonna
One, two, you're not going to get the
the lines are gone.
consistent
Yeah,
thickness
yeah,
or the consistently changing thickness at least. It
yeah.
just won't happen. It'll be so hard to do that. It
And
would
it's gonna take forever.
take forever.
But
Yeah.
actually, I remember I talked to like a professional inker,
Yeah.
like from the 90s, Joe Weems. He's actually my art rep's boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's a like professional inker that worked a lot with Image Comics in the 90s.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he prefers the imperfection of the white lines. He prefers it to be like imperfect, so it shows like different thicknesses. And but the problem is it takes forever. So to do that, it's gonna take probably two hours only the cape here, and it's not. Yeah, it's not. That's too much. So the technique I developed myself
Yeah.
is what I'm doing right now is I'm using a carbon paper, white carbon paper, and I'm putting it between the sketch and the inked piece, and I'm going over
The sketch
itself with the pencil, or it doesn't really matter because you just need to scratch it to make the carbon go through to the other side.
So it's the same as copy paper if
It's
you're
copy
aware of
paper,
that. It's just white
white.
instead of
Yeah.
black, yeah, or blue.
I don't think people know what copy paper is
I think
now because
illustrators maybe know what it is,
Yeah.
or what do
But-
they used to? Oh, I know what they used to do.
yeah, for credit cards.
Yes, for credit cards.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, you would place your physical credit
Yeah,
card.
but that was actually a very long time ago.
Was it?
Yeah, that's like
I mean, I never.
probably like 35.
Yeah,
don't know, 30
I only
years
ever
ago.
ever remember it happening when my mother used her card. It's not like I had a card that was used that way.
Yeah.
So it's a distant memory, but I remember they used to place the physical card in a small sort of rectangular device, and then copy paper would be in there.
Like they would call it to iron it.
Yeah,
right?
they would call it ironing,
Ironing.
and they would like move
A machine that like
a handle back and forth over the card,
that presses
and it would
so-
press against the numbers, and that's actually why the numbers are still raised on credit cards.
Yeah.
It was because of that. They just kept on doing it, I guess. I guess newer cards don't have raised numbers anymore, or some of them don't anymore. But that's the reason that the numbers were initially raised.
Yeah, but I think copy papers were in, so even not a long time ago, when you were writing your invoice for something, do you remember that
I do,
people
yeah.
had like a note, and
Yeah.
between each note they had like a copy paper, so
yeah.
you can keep so the owner of the shop or whatever can keep
I think
the,
that still maybe exists.
probably.
Perhaps.
Yeah. So the only reason I'm using a pencil is just to see what I already went through.
Right. Because otherwise you wouldn't really
I
have a
would-
visual indication of what you already...
Yeah, and I won't be able to remember what I already like scratched to the
From
other
my
side.
point of view, it doesn't look like it's putting anything down, but I'm sure
Yeah, you
that...
can see the blue over the...
Yeah. Because the thing is, if you now have to stop and lift it up, it might not align correctly.
Yeah, but it
anymore.
doesn't really matter because what matters is I see the lines over the blacks. Specifically here, it doesn't really matter because it's just like a cape, and it's just like wrinkles in the cape, or like something that is more
abstract.
yeah, abstract. But when I do things that are supposed to be more accurate, it's actually also doesn't really matter because if it comes out a little bit to the side, I still can see the correct line that I need to draw, and I just move it to the left, and it works.
By the way, Rob's handle today is Rob from the beach. So that sounds enjoyable. There has been some sun here recently, so it's been nice getting that direct sunlight again.
Yeah, but Rob was in New York. I don't know if New York is sunny
I mean,
already.
it's probably pretty similar to
Similar
the
to
weather
here.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to be nice. Like an actual fall, not fall,
I spent the last week
spring.
in Alberta, and there was a 21 degree Celsius day, and then 2 days later it was -3 and hailing.
It was hailing here as well
Yeah.
a couple of times. Okay, so as you can see, I did forget some of the lines,
Mm.
and I'll just go over them again.
Yeah.
I forgot
By
some.
the way, the copy paper, I can see a lot of sort of
Yeah,
areas in the copy paper that
but
have already been pressed out
yeah, because I use it more than maybe
once. Yeah.
more than once for sure, but I meant to say more than 10 times or even more because
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter because it's not supposed to look good.
Right.
It just to indicate where I need
Where
to
it,
go
because you go
over
over
the
it anyway with the gel liner, right?
yeah,
Because this part of the paper, can I show this? Wait, can you turn the light table on?
the light
You
table.
see how it sort of looks like either the
Yeah,
ramblings of a madman,
because I used it a lot of times.
yeah, or like some sort of secret code or something.
Yeah, but think about it. If for like this specific area probably has less carbon on it.
Right.
But if I go with a line like this, so the line is gonna break in
A
the
little
middle.
bit, yeah,
So
it
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
really matter.
Because yeah, you're gonna go over them anyway.
So
It's just an indication for where the line
yeah, it
goes.
looks like this.
Yeah.
It's that's what I need. I don't need anything more than that. That's okay. And then the next phase is I'm using a gel liner because it's the best solution I have for drawing white over blacks.
Right.
I know it's not the best solution because it has a lot of problems, but it's the best one I found so
Overall,
far.
you like it the most so far.
I dislike it the less,
The least.
the least.
Okay. So it's the lesser of all evils.
Something.
Yeah, so Rob says, I live in Miami Beach, but was up in New York visiting my parents and hounding artists for free sketches. LOL.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that is typical UK. Some sun most of the day, and then it rained in the evening, Jamie says. Yeah, that's very typical. The thing in
I think here we get more sun probably than the
yeah,
UK
probably, yeah.
because it's more dry in here, but
Mm.
like less
Less
rain,
clouds as well, probably.
less rain,
Yeah.
but the temperature are much lower during the winter.
The thing is, Toronto is known for extreme weather changes in a very short amount of time. The day before I flew out to Alberta, I remember it being sunny and really nice out. 5 minutes later, everything was covered in hail.
Yeah, yeah.
10 minutes after that, the hail had
Sunny.
melted,
And it was
and there
sunny
was
again.
there was absolutely no sign that it hailed 10 minutes before. It was all gone.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes after that, it was raining cats and dogs. So we had like 4 seasons, and there was some snow intermittently as well. So we had all of it in in a period of, I'd say, within 3 hours it all
Yeah, but
happened.
the weather there is even more extreme than
Is it?
here. I think so.
Maybe, yeah.
In
In the UK?
No, I meant like in
Oh, in Alberta.
Alberta.
Well, Alberta becomes, it gets way colder potentially than here.
Yeah, not potentially, it gets colder.
Yeah.
Like much colder.
I think maybe colder by around 20 degrees
Yeah,
Celsius.
that's a lot.
It
That's like
is, yeah.
crazy a lot.
When you're already in the negative numbers, 20 degrees is a
A
lot.
lot, yeah. Like it's the difference between -10 to -30.
It's the difference between surviving and not surviving.
Yeah.
So I recently found out that a family member who I did not know because it was before my time. This is I think it was my grandmother's father. So my great grandfather, or even it might have been my grandmother's grandfather. I'm not clear on that. He actually froze to death in Toronto. He was an elderly man at the time. But yeah, he had been outside and it was really cold and he just succumbed to the cold. This is a long time ago, so I guess there was less traffic, less people. It might have been more sparse, the area. It wasn't in downtown Toronto, it was up north a little bit. So, yeah, I didn't know that. I just recently discovered it. I think it was colder here back then than it is
I
now.
think this recent winter was one of the coldest or one of the most amount of snowfall
Yeah.
here.
So the coldest temperature ever officially recorded in Toronto was minus 32.8 degrees Celsius or
Oh my
minus
God.
27 degrees Fahrenheit on January 10th, 1859.
Oh, that's
Severe cold snaps define historical lows such as 31.3 minus 31.3 Celsius at Pearson Airport in 1981. That was, yeah, quite a while ago already, but minus 31 is cold.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very cold.
But the 1859 date still stands as the city's all-time coldest in recorded history. Yeah, I'm happy I wasn't here on January 10th, 1859, because that would have been
I think that the cold was probably one of the least of your
worries
trouble.
back then.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about that next time. What would you bring with you, or what information would you consume before traveling
Oh,
back in time
yeah, so we can
permanently?
talk about the Ryan North book that you mentioned before.
Right.
The how to survive the what's the name of the book?
Oh, yeah.
How to invent society again? Something like
How to
that.
Invent Everything, I think it's called, but I'll check for it. It was, yeah, How to Invent Everything, a
Yeah,
survival guide by
Ryan
a
North.
survival guide for the stranded time traveler. That's the entire
Yeah, yeah.
title.
He's a comic writer
Yeah,
and he's also very funny
right.
and he reads the book itself, so
He
it's
reads the book. Yeah, it's funny. I'll pull it up on the monitor here on the left side of the screen.
and he's Canadian.
So he has that going for him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, I guess, what the cover looks like. Have you seen the new distillery comic Mischief of Magpies?
No.
It's not out yet, but I saw some pages and wow. Mateus Bergara does the art and
Oh,
Simon
of course.
Spur
Spur, yeah.
just pre-ordered it. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I really really like Matthias Bergara. I gotta meet him once. He's like crazy talented.
Hmm.
I really like his watercolor drawings.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him draw live some, I think it was, where was it? San Diego, probably. Yeah, he's he's very talented. And he also does like cool designs, interesting designs, and the way he draws faces, people is different, which I like a lot.
Yeah, Simon Spurrier, not Simon
Spurrier, yeah.
Squarrier. I was thinking that Squarrier sounded a bit wonky.
No, I haven't heard about this one, but I usually read everything that Matthias does, so I'll probably get that as well. Yeah, I really like his water. He uses watercolor in a way that is like very watercolory,
Yeah.
which is like leaving a lot of white on the page and using it like in a very minimal way.
Mm. The watercolor.
Yeah,
Matias Bergara.
yes.
Oh, so Coda. That was
Yeah,
one.
Coda. Yeah,
Okay.
Coda. That's
I know which
very
one you
cool.
mean. Yeah, I know that
And
one.
also Step by Bloody Step. Yeah, this one.
Step by Bloody
I
Step.
think it's a wordless comics,
Mm.
which is also very, very cool. Okay, so
Yeah, the watercolor looks great. Really
yeah,
does.
he's a like a pro in watercolor. It looks so professional.
Yeah, it's very
And
clean, very communicative.
yeah, and it looks minimal.
Hmm.
He doesn't use it like heavy colors on
I
the
wonder what
page.
kind of paper, what specific brand and density of paper he uses.
Yeah, so for watercolor, it's better using a paper that is less smooth
Hmm.
than a paper for inking.
So that
And
the water doesn't travel freely and it bites into the paper.
yes, also, but also it creates more like absorption options for the paper
Yeah,
itself
the
for
surface
the
area
water.
is
Yeah,
larger, right? Because there's all sorts of hills and valleys.
exactly.
So
And
you're gaining
you
another
need like
axis.
when you use watercolors, the paper should be very, very thick
Hmm.
to be able to absorb a lot of water because you usually it's almost like pouring like water over the paper
Hmm. Also,
and then
if the
letting it
paper
dry.
is too thin, it'll warp. Even if it looks okay
Yeah,
to the eye,
exactly.
the paper ends up actually curving and warping permanently, and
Yeah,
then you have to flatten it, which it could ruin potentially what you have put down on that paper.
yeah. It usually warps even if you're using a watercolor paper, but if I be using this paper, it's gonna be like completely warped.
Hmm.
So at least use a thicker paper. If you're using a very smooth paper, that could work, but you need a thicker one just to be able to absorb all the water to the paper. So I switched again for a different tool,
Hmm.
and this is for doing a very tiny details, which will be too difficult to do with the dip pen. It's faster this way.
Hmm.
So I'm using a Rotring technical pens. They come in various sizes. This specific one is 0.1, which is the smallest size there is, like ever. Most artists use the Microns by Sakura,
Yeah.
which is you can get like the same outcome with Microns,
Mm-hmm.
but I find the ink that Sakura uses in the Microns is a bit gray.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like completely black.
Yeah.
So it comes out a little bit grayish on the grayish side. And also it's a different ink than the ink that I'm using for the entire piece. And I think it works better if it's the same. So here I'm actually using two types of ink, not just one. So I found out that because you've seen me use Molotov, and I tried using the ink that I'm using for the dip pens for the Molotov pens, and it didn't really work. So I bought a Molotov ink. So all the like the black areas are done with a different ink, but it looks the same. They're both very, very black. It's the most dense types
Yeah, like
that
dark,
I've.
opaque and dark.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Whoa. Okay, so you can put it a little bit higher up in the frame, a little bit more, a little bit more. Yeah.
Maybe I should do a like a more. Yeah, I'll do here
Some details.
another like ornaments for the shield here. So we talked about the inspiration or reference for this image,
Yeah.
and he's Alexander the Great. It doesn't really have a shield, but I think he's holding the knot
Mm-hmm.
from the myth
The
that we talked
Gordian
about.
knot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie says, I saw Akira at the cinema the other day. It looked gorgeous on the big screen. Yeah, wow. Okay, you got to see it on a big screen for sure. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Oh, I think I heard they re-released it.
I, I'm
Was it?
I wonder if it's a remastered version or it's
Twi
not a new version of the movie, right? It's not
a remake?
a remake.
No, it's not.
I don't think.
Probably not a remake, but I saw a few days ago YouTube
Oh, okay. So
showed me that.
they restored it for 4K, including IMAX, primarily in the UK and Ireland. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay,
That's why we haven't really heard about it being in theaters here.
yeah. So I I got I saw on YouTube that somebody uploaded the entire movie of Alita Battle Angel
Yeah,
to YouTube, so you can actually watch it. I mean the original one, the anime,
yeah.
not the remake.
Did
So
you watch it?
no,
We could watch it. We
yeah,
should, yeah. It's a restoration. Yeah, it's a restoration. I don't think that it's playing in Canada. Let's see. Akira 4K in Toronto question 6 days ago, Reddit. I want to see it too. It says, so far it's done a run in the UK and Australia this year. Dying for it to be shown in Vancouver. So I guess they haven't released it in Canada this time around or something
but
yet,
I think it's
perhaps.
not the first time that they've
No,
done
it's not the first time. No.
a re
Yeah,
re
remaster.
remaster
It
reissue
might be
or
the first time for IMAX, maybe. I'm not sure about that as well, but
Yeah, I've never seen Akira on the big screen.
We're definitely gonna go
It was
when it shows.
yeah, I think it came out at 80
89, I want to say.
no, 81,
Really?
81, 2, 80
I thought it came out later.
no. 81 probably.
There was definitely no IMAX in 81.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
but I meant like that they reissued it
Yeah,
like
no,
in
I
the
was right. It
2000.
came out in 1988.
Okay.
Japan, 1988. United States, 1989. So,
Okay.
yeah, I couldn't believe that it was a decade older than I thought. It's just too good.
What do you mean?
That's almost a decade. That's like 8 years apart, 9 years apart. I don't know that they could have made it 9 years earlier.
Why not? I think that it's the same technology.
I don't. They were doing the light effects with the motorcycles. I think that was pretty not
But
new.
it was done traditionally, this specific effect.
No, no, I know
They
it was
could do
done.
it like
Yeah,
in 81. It
yeah.
They could do the same
I,
thing.
don't- I just didn't think that it was that old, but it isn't. 88. Okay, so I think you're almost done, aren't you?
I'm done.
Literally right now?
Yeah.
Wow. So just let's frame it
Frame.
for the camera. Just lift it up a little bit. This is a commission on A4 of Cerebus, which I think in English it has a slightly different pronunciation.
Cerebus.
No, in English I think it's Cerberus, the three-headed dog. But yeah, I don't. It might be different in French. Um, it would be nice actually to send a link of this live stream session to the person that
Yeah.
ordered the commission so that they might want to watch as you ink it.
Yeah.
That could be a cool idea. And thank you again for
We'll
joining
do
us.
a
Manual
close
close-up.
up.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I can also do the close up like this.
Yeah.
It's better.
Very clean work. Love the folds as usual. Your signature line style. Very melodic. Have a nice evening, Rob. Have a nice evening, Jamie. Don't know who else is still on here. Potato Lover, shout out. And thank you for joining us again. And we'll see you next week. Same
Yeah.
time, same place.
Yeah.